Welcome into the MaxWire. I am Megan Pichet. Today on the show, we take a look at some of the top stat leaders from the Bay Area, most of whom are also on the top leaderboards for the state and the nation. First up, though, we're going to take a look at the national scoreboard from over the weekend. Two big games from some highly ranked teams. First up, De La Salle handled Servite 35-10 on Saturday to improve to 6-0 on the season. Senior running back John Velasco with 159 yards rushing. The Spartans are 13th in the Excellent 25 National Football Rankings, presented by the Army National Guard. And Bellarmine took on a tough conference opponent, Sarah of San Mateo, this week. Sarah comes out with a 17-7 win. Senior quarterback Anthony Smock with 163 passing yards for Sarah. That brings his season total to 408. Both Bellarmine and Sarah are now 3-1. Okay, now on to our stat leaders. We start out with Anthony Williams, quarterback for St. Patrick, St. Vincent. He's tallied 1,776 passing yards on the season. That's first in the Bay and 50th in the country. On September 13th, he had a season-high 478 yards for 6 touchdowns and a 6-3-0 shutout over Jefferson. On the other side of the ball, teammate Jaylen Canty tops the defensive leaderboards with 16 sacks for St. Pat St. Vince. He actually leads the state in sacks and comes in 6th on the national leaderboards. Not bad for a top 30 basketball recruit. That's right, Canty is heading to Washington next year to play hoops. The 6'7", 240-pound senior decided to go out for football this season and is now leading the state in sacks. Finally, Brandon Boyd is another local player working on those national headlines. Senior running back for Gilroy High School. He's rushed for 1,519 yards on the season. That's first in the Bay and 9th in the nation. In addition, Boyd has a Bay Area high 18 touchdowns. He had 30 carries for 315 yards and 3 touchdowns in a 55-14 win over Watsonville this past Friday. And real quick before we close, we got to check in on Archbishop Mitty and their climb up the national volleyball rankings. Last week, they were at 23 and have moved up to 20. And those are the Excellent 25 rankings. Gabrielle Carta-Samuels had 27 digs as the Monarchs beat St. Ignatius. They then swept through the Panther tournament, defeating 4 good teams, including they handed Redwood their first loss in 19 matches. Kelsey Crawford with 24 assists in those 2 sets. The Monarchs improved to 21-2 and host presentation on Friday. Follow at Bay Area MaxPreps on Twitter and tune in next week for more coverage of the Bay Area. I am Megan Pichet, and thanks for joining us on the MaxWire.